but for the record death of at least 50,000 people during 11 years of civil war goes to the polls. This day, June 24, 2023, for Sierra Leoneans, both home and abroad, symbolizes freedom, healing, growth, and most essentially, stability, because after 5 years, regardless of any upheaval and agitations, 3.3 million people are presumably going to polls to enjoy their civic rights, which is a right to vote. However, this vote will decide the fate of 13 presidential candidates, including incumbent President Julius Maada Bio and former Justice Minister Charles Magai, as well as members of parliament and local councillors across the country. I am Imo Edet, and with our production team of Abdullah Hassan, James Japon, Ignace Bilimu, Maudo Juf, and Francis Boniface, in the coming hours, we will bring you all the happenings, interviews, feature reports, videos, profiling, and minute-by-minute update of the elections in Sierra Leone. Much later in election coverage, we will be having guests and analysts join us in the studio live to look at the election processes, issues in Sierra Leone, and the expectations from the outcome. Our correspondents on standby and other analysts in Kenema, Freetown, Bo, and other regions in the country will also join us on this live coverage. It's indeed a full package. Just to also inform you that the first part of this broadcast will end by 8:30 a.m. to pave the way for the French team led by Sani Moumoundou Sable and Patrick Devevi to take over from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. We will be back again from 11 a.m. to 12:30 p.m. Welcome once again, everyone. It's Sierra Leone Decides 2023.
This is the live coverage of the 2023 general elections in Sierra Leone. This is the live coverage of the 2023 general elections in Sierra Leone. You can also follow our live streaming on Facebook and YouTube. West Africa Democracy Radio English Service.
Just before we get neck deep in the coverage, let's take you down memory lane and highlight a few political events leading to today's election in Sierra Leone. This election is very crucial for the over 8 million population. I must say that this election is a determiner for where Sierra Leone will be in the next 5 years among the Committee of Nations and its role in ECOWAS. Now, in this election, at least 3.3 million people, registered voters, are expected to go to the polls and decide which among the 13 presidential candidates will be the next president of Sierra Leone. Elections will take place in 16 districts of the country, and voting will happen at 11,832 polling stations nationwide. Let me also inform you that there are also 3,630 polling centers nationwide. Now, voters will also elect members of parliament and local councillors across the country, which is experiencing massive unemployment, high levels of inflation, and a depreciating currency. In August 2022, there were protests in Freetown and several northern towns about soaring cost of living, resulting in more than 20 deaths as security agents fired at protesters. The poll is the fifth presidential elections since the end of the 1991-2002 civil war, in which more than 50,000 people were killed, hundreds maimed, and hundreds of thousands displaced. President Bio, 59, is seen as the frontrunner in the 13-candidate presidential race. His biggest challenger is Samora Kamara of the main opposition All People's Congress ABC party, who narrowly lost to Bio in the last 2018 election. Kande Yumkela, a former United Nations Under-Secretary General who came third in 2018 and is now running, has thrown his weight behind the president. In the run-up to this election, there have been calls by opposition political parties for the resignation of the electoral commissioners and the chief, Mohamed Kone, saying his party do not believe in the ability to hold free and fair elections. Again, on the campaign trail, Kamara's party criticized Bio's handling of the economy and soaring prices. Well, in its response, the ruling party has blamed economic woes on external factors such as the coronavirus pandemic and the war in Ukraine. Well, it is important to note that if no candidate secure 55% of valid votes cast in the first ballot, the top two candidates will head to a runoff 2 weeks after the announcement of the first round result. Polling stations have opened and will close at 5 p.m. Now, the electoral chairperson from Liberia, Davieta Brown Lansana, the Gambia, Liu Moma Njai, Burkina Faso, Tanzania, and Malawi are all in Freetown to support the Electoral Commission of Sierra Leone as it holds the 5th general elections after the civil war. At the election house, a big room in the Sierra Leonean capital, the electoral chairperson, Mohamed Kone, briefed hundreds of political party representatives, CSOs, international and local election observers, and all the stakeholders, as well as the media, on the level of preparedness. Kone's address late Friday detailed security arrangements, the distribution of sensitive and non-sensitive materials, accreditation, and logistics, among others. Well, take a listen to the chief.
The Commission has deployed all materials sensitive and non-sensitive to polling centers, and we are at advanced stage in this deployment. The non-sensitive materials have earlier been deployed as soon as storage facilities closest to the polling centers. 3. Deployment of sensitive materials for most of the polling centers, except for centers that are accessible only by sea, commenced this morning with more than 90% confirming receipt of materials. The electoral materials for polling centers only accessible by sea were dispatched yesterday, 22nd of June 2023. Deployment of election materials is done with security escorts provided by Sierra Leone Police and the Republic of Sierra Leone Armed Forces. Commission acknowledged gratitude and support provided by development partners, including the EU, the government of Ireland, and Canada through the UNDP managed project. ECSL has issued accreditations to the following: political parties, 180,000 accreditations. These were dispatched to the districts and they are being collected at district level by political parties. Political party coordinators, additional 10 accredited by districts so that they will have the opportunity to move around and provide necessary support to their agents, stations in all polling stations. In every station, we have 2 political party representatives, one at a time to be present in the precinct of the polling stations. In total, national observers, we have issued 25,000 observer accreditation, international observers 1,000, and media 2,500 accreditation. A total of 208,500 accreditations have been given out by the Commission. The Commission also acknowledges the support provided by the board, which has strengthened the public sensitization on the ER system and electoral education through our civil society organizations. The Commission wishes to appreciate every Sierra Leonean for the way and manner in which they have conducted themselves through the electoral process. The peace of Sierra Leone must be paramount to all of us, and we must also endeavor to avoid violence at all costs. The Commission remains professional in the conduct of this election. The Commission calls on all eligible Sierra Leoneans to go to the polling station, go to your respective home staff, listen to the radio staff. When the results are announced, if your party or candidate wins, celebrate staff. If your party or candidate lost, Join and let us develop the country safely. If you are dissatisfied, follow the law staff. The ECSL wants to assure the nation that it will conduct elections in a free, fair, credible manner, and want to assure all that the election will be one of the best ever conducted in Sierra Leone. Finally, the Commission acknowledges our local partners, civil society organizations, the government of Sierra Leone for their enormous support towards the successful conduct, as expected by all of us, of this election.
Mohamed Kenewi Kone is the chairperson of the Sierra Leone Electoral Commission, ASCL. Well, let's cross over now to Freetown as we're being joined by Patrick Salia to bring us the latest and happening right there. Patrick, good morning and thank you for joining us. Oh, well, just before Patrick comes on board, let's also bring you the profile of the candidate. Well, we're going to start with incumbent President Julius Maada Bio. Well, he is a candidate for the Sierra Leone People's Party, SLPP. Now, first elected into office in 2018, the former army general and coup leader led the country just after the Civil War as president of the Supreme Council of the Republic of Sierra Leone for 3 months in 1996. Bio, 58, was born in 1964 in the province of Bonte, Southwest, and comes from a Mende family. Now, after entering the Sierra Leone Military Academy, he obtained the rank of second lieutenant at the age of 22 and was in 1990 sent to neighboring Liberia, where civil war had just broken out, as a member of the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS Force. He was called back to Sierra Leone a year later to fight the Revolutionary United Front RUF rebels. In 1992, he was part of a group of young soldiers led by Captain Valentine Strasser, who overthrew the repressive regime of Joseph Momo. At the beginning of 1996, as the second in command of the ruling, he overthrew the junta leader Valentine Strasser, fleeing growing division within the ranks. However, he quickly restored the multi-party system and finally agreed to hand over power to the newly elected President Hamad Tejan Kaba after a short period as the head of state. Julius Maada Bio then went abroad to study, notably in the United States, where he earned a degree in international relations. He entered politics in 2005 within the Sierra Leone People's Party, SLPP, and worked himself to the top and remained a key player. His contributions to the party's activity quickly made him a figurehead until his presidential candidacy 5 years ago, when he emerged as the winner of the ballot, defeating main challenger Samora Kamara. Bio is seeking a re-election in today's presidential vote. Although his presidency has been marred by reports of scandal and corruption, poor economic policies and bad governance, Bio has thwarted his success in education, agriculture, gender parity and equality, as well as delivering affordable health services to all Sierra Leoneans. The incumbent particularly boasts of his contributions to healing the country of recent memory of the Civil War. Well, let's take a listen to President Julius Maada Bio, who earlier in the week delivered his last speech as his term in office expires. His speech was also a call for citizens to consolidate and uphold their existing democratic values, which has helped the country in many ways turn away from violence and heal from a civil war. Bio, in the near 30-minute address to the nation, reiterated the need for Sierra Leone to shun violence and embrace peace through civic means such as elections, a process he urged citizens to actively participate in. The statement, according to many, still echoes.
These elections are not merely a procedural formality. They embody our democratic ideas, where every citizen has the privilege to exercise their constitutional right to vote freely and without fear. The power of each individual's vote is immense. It is our most potent, non-violent tool in shaping the destiny of our great nation. As the leader who willingly relinquished power to a democratically elected president, I hold the project of democracy dear to my heart. I understand the paramount importance of democracy, for without it, there is no country to cherish, no land to fulfill our dreams, and no legacy to pass on to our children. As Sierra Leoneans, we cannot afford to be oblivious to the dangers that lurk when violence replaces the path of democracy and the rule of law. We have experienced firsthand the far-reaching effects of choosing war over dialogue. We cannot subject our children and loved ones to a repetition of our darkest past. Therefore, we must recognize that there is simply no substitute for democracy, even when its outcomes may feel inconvenient or leave us disheartened. Dear fellow Sierra Leoneans, as we head to the polls to exercise our sovereign right to vote, we must remember that elections are not a mere formality, but the cornerstone of our democracy. As the president of our great republic, I've been entrusted with the duty to uphold the democratic principles that guide our nation's progress. Free and fair elections are a legal requirement and a moral obligation. Since assuming office in May 2018, my government has made remarkable strides in fostering unity, freedom, and justice within our great nation. We have diligently established the necessary legal and regulatory framework to ensure peaceful and inclusive elections, setting the stage for the 2023 multi-tier elections. Fellow Sierra Leoneans, in the realm where democracy thrives, we all flourish, united in the boundless prosperity it bestows upon us. Conversely, where violence finds fertile ground, its pernicious consequences permeate our collective existence, sparing none from its bitter aftermath. In this pivotal moment, as we stand on the cusp of the forthcoming elections, let us rally together, bound by an unyielding determination to safeguard the hallowed principles enshrined in our Constitution and the essence of our democratic ethos. For it is through the triumph of democracy that we shall secure a brighter future for generations to come. God bless Sierra Leone, and may God bless us all.
Indeed, God bless Sierra Leone. The voice there of incumbent President Julius Maada Bio speaking just before the elections. Well, let's now cross over to Freetown, where we have our correspondent on standby, Patrick Salia, who is joining us. Patrick, good morning, if you can hear me. Patrick, are you there? Patrick, talk to us if you're there. Okay, so while we wait to connect with Patrick, let's bring you the profile of opposition leader Samora Kamara of the All People's Congress. Now, Dr. Samora Matthew Kamara is not new to the race and remains the main challenger to the incumbent after a fierce battle in 2018. Now 78, the flag bearer of Sierra Leone's All People's Congress had served the country in various capacities, including as a financial advisor and secretary at different times. Kamara was born in Karine District, Northwest Province of Sierra Leone, and studied at Foray Bay College, where he obtained a bachelor's degree in economics in 1972. In 1994, he was appointed program director by the World Bank for its structural support program in the country, while at the same time holding the position of financial secretary and secretary of state for finance in 1996. His rise then came after the overthrow of Valentine Strasser by Julius Maada. He then served as financial secretary, bank governor, minister of finance, and minister of foreign affairs and international cooperation in the administration of Ernest Bai Koroma. In the 2018 presidential election, Kamara, who holds a doctorate in development economics from the University of Bangor in Wales, the United Kingdom, was chosen by former President Ernest Koroma to represent the All People's Congress APC. However, he lost the election to Sierra Leone's People's Party SLPP. The feud 5 years ago is very much alive for the 71-years-old APC candidate who is again contesting the number one top job. All right, let's if we have a sound of that is okay. We can go back to Patrick. And Patrick, are you there now? Can you talk to us?
Yes, I'm here.
Aha, finally we got you. Good morning, Patrick. And how are you? How is Freetown this morning?
Well, Freetown is like a ghost city, and because it's quiet, more or less, with virtually no public transportation in operations. Only a few commercial motorbikes and a few commercial tricycles that are in operations. You can even count them without even hustling around, because there are joint military and police checkpoints in strategic locations, especially riding through the outskirts of the capital towards the center of the city. I made some of those joint patrols and checkpoints by the military and police. And the polling stations, as at the time I was driving through the center of town, were still not open before 7 o'clock. Some voters had already converged at the polling centers with security personnel and the elections observers, local elections observer particularly. So Freetown is more or less quiet, peaceful, and businesses are not opened because it has been a fair in almost the elections, post-war elections in Sierra Leone, especially in the last two. Even though the security apparatus had assured the public of a safe, secured environment in the elections, but logically, the transporters, the people who run the transport sector, virtually logically wouldn't want to put their minibuses or vans out because of these checkpoints, because it will reduce their profit margin and the like. So that is the situation in Freetown right now.
Well,
quiet,
Patrick,
but peaceful.
Yeah, Patrick, election comes once in 5 years. So I'm sure you have spoken with a couple of people. What is the mood like for those you have sampled? What is the mood of the people? Are they anxious? Are they excited? What are they looking forward to?
Well, it depends on whom you will speak to. But prior to the elections, this month precisely, prior to the elections month, there are people who have been telling me, or who have been discussing in some circles, that they don't see need to go out and vote and cast their vote, because the country has been under the same two political parties since 1961, with the exception of some coups. The SLPP and APC have ruled the country for the last over 60 years. So the country they have not seen much, or they have not seen anything to write home about. So for them, it's nothing for them to go out and vote. So we expect voter apathy largely among the estimated 3.3 million people that registered to vote. In fact, that number of registered voters should have increased beyond that beyond what is projected or estimated to be, had it not been for these problems, these challenges people have with the governance system, which they think or which they feel have failed them over the last over 62 years now, in so far as the SLPP and APC are concerned. But largely, there is ethnicity and certain sentiments in the electoral system, in the politics of Sierra Leone. Even though they are crying against these systems, the same people have their attachments and affiliations to these two political parties. They are traditional political parties that have ruled since 1961 when the country gained independence. So they can grumble, they will continue to grumble, but they would hardly be able to divorce themselves or detach themselves from the two main political parties.
Well, I was
even
just
though
about,
there are about 30,
yeah, I was just
even though
about
there are
coming
about
to that,
13 or
Patrick.
14 political parties contesting.
I was just
especially
about
for the
coming to that,
presidency.
Patrick, if you can hear me. When you say the people are not feeling the elections, they're not there's no anxiety, there's no excitement about the elections, like you said, because it's largely between SLPP and APC as it is. Have there been any other suggestion by these people you have spoken with, or those you have heard, talk about, voter party, how the country has been? What has been some of the solutions that they have provided, some of the suggestions that they feel if the next government come in, they do this, things can change, and people can be excited and look forward to election and days like this?
What I've heard from some analysts over the last few weeks, suggesting, or in fact, I think even the last elections, 2017-2018, that Sierra Leone has to carve its own niche in governance, in politics, in democracy. That the system in the West cannot be one size fits all for us. So these suggestions have been coming in, but for Sierra Leoneans, the ordinary Sierra Leoneans only look forward to what their leaders would carve for them, or would carve or make for them, or create for them. They don't have any way out to move away from these two political parties, because the messages or the messaging have been tailored to get them sentimental to these two major political parties. In fact, in 2007, there was a third force which changed the narrative, the People's Movement for Democratic Change, whose leader is Charles Francis Magai, which caused the SLPP. He moved from the SLPP because he was traditionally an SLPP member.
Okay.
He moved from the SLPP in 2006 and joined and formed his own political party, PMDC. And in the runoff of that election in 2007, he caused a huge upset for the SLPP by pitching tents with the APC, which caused the APC to win under Ernest Bai Koroma. In 2018, we saw the emergence of two major political parties. The one National Grand Coalition from the former Undersecretary for Energy, Dr. Kande Ikole Yumkela, who formed the NGC. He moved away also from the SLPP and formed his own political party out of grievance. And he also, trying to prevent what Charles Francis Magai did in 2007. He did not pitch tents, but there was a political party from the various districts of Kono called the Coalition for Change, C4C, which is not taking part in this election as a result of legal issues. They have a pending court matter which prevented them from filling in candidates to contest this election. So C4C, which is seen as a Kono, the various districts party, is not taking part, but they created a huge upset in 2018 election by having 8 members of parliament, all from the Connaught district. But this time they are not taking part. So it has been this kind of situation over the period. A third force coming in, tending to change the narrative, which some Sierra Leoneans, the ordinary silent minds, have been looking forward to. That we need a change. We need to change these two political parties. But which one should we lean on? So these third forces have been coming in, trying to change the narrative. But unfortunately, one or two of them have their own leanings, either on the SLPP or the APC. So they are more or less breeds of the APC or the SLPP. So that is virtually the reason they keep dying. Because the SLPP originally is the foundation for politics in Sierra Leone. Formed 10 years before independence by the paramount chiefs across the country. And the APC coming in as a revolutionary party against the independence before elections. It actually came in about 10 years also after the Sierra Sierra Leone gained independence and contested the 1967 elections. So these political parties have been at each other's throats based on those foundations, and
Patrick,
wanting to keep the voters glued to them without any third.
Patrick, before I let you go, please confirm to us if voting has commenced, the status of arrival of voting materials, electoral officers, security, the polling box. Can you confirm to us that all of these are in place where you are at the moment?
Well, from the time I have right now in Freetown is 7:31, and by now, in fact, polling are scheduled often in general elections to open at 7 a.m.
Okay.
So as at the time I crossed past those centers this morning, it was before 7 o'clock. Like I mentioned earlier, observers, some voters and security personnel had already converged at the polling stations, waiting for the officials at the Electoral Commission to open the stations so that they can cast their ballot. But as at now, the stations are supposed to have opened, and I see a few already opened, yes. And voting has already started. This morning, very early this morning, when I woke up, I heard siren being alarmed by. Well, I presume they were escorting the sensitive election materials to the various polling stations on the outskirts of the capital, Freetown, precisely the Western Area Rural District. So more or less, these voting materials had been distributed at latest before 5, and voting opened at 7 o'clock, and the voting process is supposed to close at 5, and for counting and the rest to continue subsequently.
All right, Patrick, thank you very much. Stay put there. We will get back to you in the course of our broadcast.
Thank you very much.
Patrick Salia there in Freetown. Well, let's cross over to the eastern province of Sierra Leone, Kono region, where we have Christopher Missa on standby there to bring us what is happening. Christopher, good morning, and thank you for joining us. Hello, Christopher, are you there? Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, good morning and welcome. What is the situation where you are at the moment?
All right, currently I'm at the eastern region, one of the districts in the eastern region in Kono, which is Koidu city, at the eastern part of Sierra Leone, and I'm at one of the centers which is located at the outskirts of the city, which is a voting center. I've been here for the past 1 hour monitoring the situation, but the voting is supposed to start at 7, and it is past 7 now, but nothing has started. Tens of people have been hanging around, and some people as well have left already the center.
Christopher, why is that so? Hello, Christopher.
Hello?
Yes. Why is that so?
Yes.
I mean, voting was supposed to start by 7. What's the holding the proceedings back?
Well, according to the ECSL officials who are here, which is the Electoral Commission for Sierra Leone, who are responsible for the conduct of this particular election, they said that the election materials are yet to arrive at the center, and even some of the staff are not present here, from what I gathered here this morning. And some people already have been patiently waiting, and some have already left the center, and they've tried to reach the coordinator for this particular center, but according to what we've gathered from people around here, that he's not picking his calls. And this is a phenomenon, according to local media reports, across the country, and even part of this district as well. From what we've been gathering is that voting hasn't started in most of the locations because the voting materials have not been distributed to the various voting centers. And currently, I've been talking to some people around here, this particular vicinity that I am, which is a very large community within Koidu city. And I'm with one of the voters. He has been here for the past hours for the voting to start. So we can hear from him and to know exactly how he felt about the process and how he felt about the delay that has been experienced so far.
All right, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Yeah, so how do you feel about today?
It's a disappointment, actually, because we came here over 1 hour and we are still waiting for this material. But the election officials are telling us that There's no material available now. But the war coordinator, the PCN, has gone to the head office to make sure that these materials are available. But up to this time, we are still awaiting for the materials. But we are still in the queue, still waiting for them to start the process.
Like how many people can you say are on the queue right now?
For now, we are here. Around this queue, there are over 300 people right now waiting to see that yes, over 300 people are around. Make sure that this election is conducted.
Well, what can you say is the mood of the other people you have spoken with, fellow voters like you?
No, everybody does. Some are sitting down, some are standing, some are grumbling. You can know that because some people came here at 6 o'clock this morning. As when I came here around 6 o'clock this morning, now we are here. Some people are sitting down, some people are standing, some people are grumbling. Everybody just standing in a group, just waiting for the election officials to start the process.
Well, let me ask you, sir. You are very well in that country and you have seen the situation in that country. How would you describe the first 5 years of President Julius Maada Bio?
Yes, of course. I don't know President Maada Bio. He said we should not judge him after the 5 years because we judge him after 10 years. So that's what we are now waiting to see what is happening. But election has been very peaceful in Sri Lanka for the past years. Even for the last 5 years, it's just peaceful. Even this election, and in Kono District, where I'm in the eastern region of Sierra Leone, it is peaceful, and everybody just standing waiting to cast their votes.
Is life better on the Julius Maada Bio? Are you looking forward to something better after the elections?
Yes, life is not 100%. I cannot say the life is 100% better for the people of Sierra Leone, but I can assure you it can be around 60%, but it's not 100% because everybody. It depends how somebody thinks about it. But I cannot say that life is 100% correct for Australia, for the Eastern in particular.
Indeed, thank you so much for talking to us. Well, Christopher, let me come to you now. So, what is the next step now? Are we waiting for the electoral officers to bring the materials? At what time? I mean, this is 7:37 as we speak.
The center I am currently, the center manager for this particular location said he has contacted the coordinator, and the coordinator is currently distributing the election material because there are clusters of polling centers that he's covering. So he's currently distributing the voting materials at the other polling centers. So I'll be also rushing there to see how I can monitor the process so that we can get first-hand information on the voting. But so far, even as of now that I'm talking, for most part of the district and even at the nation's capital and Freetown, from the reports we've been getting, from local media and other sources, is that voting hasn't started. And most of the voting materials are yet to be available in most of the centers across the country and in the district as well.
Well, Christopher, what can you attribute to this delay, which you're saying almost in all the regions? Because not too long we spoke with Patrick Salia and he also mentioned similar thing. What would you attribute this to?
Well, this is a very worrisome situation because we don't know what the various political parties, what is going to be their response to this, and also the electorate, what is going to be their response to this. Because earlier, I was speaking to one of a party agent who is present at this particular center. He was mentioning that if the election doesn't start on time, then they need to make an additional 2 hours extension if, for example, the voting process is being delayed by 2 hours. It's being delayed by 2 hours. So this is the situation here. And we don't know what at the end of the day this particular situation is going to be the aftermath.
Well, so at this point, we should be anticipating for voting to run into the night, perhaps 7 p.m. as it is, if by almost 8 o'clock it is yet to start. All right, Christopher, thank you so much for your time. We'll be going back to Christopher to hear more eventually if materials had arrived for that region there in Kono. Well, it's still the elections 2023 in Sierra Leone. It's a live coverage here on West Africa Democracy Radio. You can also watch us live on our YouTube page, West Africa Democracy Radio English Service. So let's head now to talk to Paul Koroma, who is in Bo region. Good morning, Paul.
Yeah, good morning and good morning to listeners across the globe.
All right. So, what is the situation where you are at the moment? Well, because we heard that voting has been delayed in parts of Freetown and in Kono region. What's the status there?
And from monitoring this morning across the city of Bo, there are some challenges. Although some centers have tried to surmount some of those challenges. Currently, I am at the Aladura, center. This is a police station in Bo City. Bo City is the second city of Sierra Leone. Voters have been here. Some have been here as early as 5 a.m. this morning, and some, of course, came a couple of minutes ago. They are queued in the line, of course, with long queues, but voting is yet to start in some areas, and some are still having some logistical challenge. So that's the latest.
What can you attribute to this logistical challenge? Because the EC had mentioned in his speech yesterday that elections will start at 7, materials will arrive in time, and people wouldn't have to wait that long, 2 hours, into the starting time before voting commences. So what can you attribute to this?
Well, this morning we tried talking to some of the officials, but of course, one of the ECSL officials told me this morning that they are very busy trying to address some issues, to contact him again. So, and as I'm speaking, maybe I will try to even link up with some, voters that are queuing the line to as well, do their own take. But of course, at Aladura, they are now in the queue and trying to ensure that they start the voting process. So yesterday, late in the night, because they were having, the workers of ECSL, the polling agents, polling staff that traveled across the country. Although he confirmed yesterday that all sensitive and non-sensitive materials have been deployed, but we are still having staff that we are, some travel late at night, late in the evening at their various or respective locations.
Well, let's talk about the arrival of these materials again. Do you see worries, fear in the face of the people? I mean, if almost 8 a.m., nothing, no voting has commenced. What is the feeling of the people like in this regard?
Come again, please.
The mood of the people, looking at the fact that materials are yet to arrive and they are already on queue, waiting for the electoral officials to commence, the activity for the day.
All right. Like I said, at Aladura, it started a bit. They are having some challenges, but just been made to understand that the voting has gradually started.
Okay.
I'm with even a voter here that will just, talk to you. Can you please introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Isa Kamara.
All right, Mr. Kamara, it's nice to speak to you. What is the mood like? Are you excited to take part in this election?
Yeah, sure. I need to exercise my rights.
So how would you describe this administration past 5 years?
Well, I think that it's better for some people than for some people. I think that it's not better for them.
It's 50-50.
Yeah.
So which of the 50s do you fall into?
Which of the people fall to?
Yeah, which of the 50s? I mean, you said it's better for some people and it's not better for some people. So
yes.
What group do you?
As for me, I'm a businessman, so I think that as for me, it's not better because the inflation, the dollar rate is going up very too high. That's why I said that as for me, it's not better for me.
I see. Well, I'm sure you have spoken with some of your colleagues, neighbors, and relatives, as this run up to this election. What have they been saying about the government? What are their expectations after the elections?
Well, we are now in the police station. We came here to vote. After everything, we're going to know the results. Who is the winner?
And will you take the winner with your full chest, with your full heart? Whoever comes up as the winner.
Anyone emerged to win is my president. Okay?
Indeed. Mr. Kamara, thank you for talking to us.
Okay. All right, of course. So that's just one of the voters that you had there. And like as we're having here, we're having the aged, the young, the old. We are even having first-time voters. Everybody is here to exercise their franchise. Like I said, some came here as early as 5:04 this morning. And like in Aladura, one of the centers that I'm currently at, the voting has just commenced and it's going on gradually, though at a slow pace, but they've started the voting process.
Well, I know security may not really be a much problem there in Sierra Leone, but what is it like? Are there security officers around polling stations? Are they armed? Are they what is it like there?
Yeah, there are security officers across all the centers that I've visited. Although here at Aladura, I'm only seeing two officials here. But of course, this is not like the middle of the town. But in the central part of the town, you can see that there are full armed security officers, full force. Like yesterday, we interviewed the AIG of the Southern Region, that's the Police Regional Commander South, and he did confirm indeed he assured Sierra Leoneans in this part of the country and this region that they are going to provide quality policing and the security situation he described as being watertight. He assured everyone to go about their normal lawful business, and even ECSL yesterday that this is going to be like any normal day. Like this is not going to be a holiday in any sense, because before this day or prior to this day, there have been several misconceptions. Some have been alleging that today is going to be a public holiday, nobody should go out. But ECSL was quick to come out to say when you vote, you can go about your normal business. If you have been a farmer, go to your farm. If you have been working, although there would be no, offices won't be opening today, but if you have any other normal lawful thing to do, you can go about to do it. So that is currently what is happening here.
So in other words, Paul, if I get you right, people can still go out and do their businesses, run their businesses while election is on. You can go about
to do your business. That was what they confirmed, because the misconception was really it has been much of a problem here during this electioneering process. Misinformation, disinformation, malinformation, all these set of information disorder have been a great challenge. But ECSL, the media, civil society, PPRC, that's the Political Regulation Commission, have been robust in trying to correct some of this information that are reaching people for public consumption. So it was like you can go about your normal, like even when I passed around, although it isn't normal as usual, because most of the business people decided to vote first this morning before going about to do what they have to do. But you can still see some individuals opening their small, businesses in home. Some having it, up and about the streets. You can see them hanging around. But it's not like that when you could see an election day. Everybody, is indoors. Places have been packed. But most of the rush up is this morning. People are trying to vote, and after which go about their normal lawful business, like I said.
All right, Paul, we'll leave it at that, but we'll come to you much later in the course of our broadcast to hear from first-time voters what the experience is like. So just to prep you up, when we come back to you, we would like to speak with them. Well, Paul, thank you so much for your time, and we'll talk to you much later.
All right, you're most welcome.
All right, that was Paul Kurma there in Bo. Well, Bo is an urban center and lies just 160 miles southeast of Freetown, about 40 miles to Kenema region, which we'll be heading to in the course of this broadcast. Well, earlier, before we cross over to Sierra Leone to speak with our correspondent, we brought you the profile of Samora Kamara, who is the opposition All People's Congress. Like we told you that he is not new in this race. Well, he has been speaking out some fire in the course of the week about this election. Remember, he was part of those who called for the removal of the electoral commissioner in the person of Mohammed Kone. Well, let's hear from him and what he has to say.
We have a dream to make the Sierra Leone we want. Yes, we can make the Sierra Leone we want. Of course, we can make Sierra Leone great. Often, political words and speeches might not matter to some people. But on this particular occasion, I want to believe that most of our people during these very trying times do need more than ever before words of inspiration and promises of hope for a better life and a better future. And it is for this reason that I am running again for President of the Republic of Sierra Leone, because we all want to believe in change again. I am saying this from an informed insider position because I have lived in Sierra Leone. I have worked in Sierra Leone for almost all my life to date. This is my Sierra Leone, my responsibility. They are saying to me, we want work. no more push. We want woke, no more push. The women are demanding, we want positive, proactive inclusion and empowerment in governance. We salute them. In their disappointments, in their frustrations, and in anger, the people of Sierra Leone are crying to me, Samura, angry, Basma. Samura, we want it. Samura, we want freedom. Samura, we want peace. Samura, we want justice. Samura, fix the economy for we do it. Fix the exchange rate for we. Fix million currency, we don't go kaput, and make it valuable again. Fix the prices of our basic food items. Fix the high cost of fuel. Fix the high electricity charges and transportation costs. Samura, fix our chronic corruption, our national divide, and our endemic poverty. We will beg you, Samura Kamara. Fix our hospitals. Fix our schools, our markets, our electricity, our water, our roads, our informal settlements, otherwise known as slums.
There you have it, opposition, All Progressive People's Party there, Samura Kamara, telling us what the people are asking him to do, and he will be contesting in this election. Well, he mentioned inflation and, the issue of food shortages. Of course, we know that the price of basic food items such as rice have doubled or even tripled in recent years. And in a recent Afrobarometer survey conducted between June and July 2022, those questions indicated that the most pressing issues they believe the government should address were the running of the economy and food shortages. So which means this is very key. This will be a determinant for most voters today. Well, we take another profile, and this is the person of Charles Magai of People's Movement for Democratic Change, PMDC. Well, Charles Magai, 77, is a private lawyer and a seasoned politician who served in previous administrations in different capacities. Magai, a former wingman of SLPP's candidate Julius Madabio, is contesting the presidency under the People's Movement for Democratic Change, PMDC. The PMDC flag bearer is, however, not new in the race, having contested the top job in the August 2007 elections. In that vote, Charles Magai came third with 10%. Despite winning less than 3% of the vote in the 2012 and 2018 presidential elections, the constitutional expert continues to play an active role in shaping Sierra Leone's political landscape. For the records, Magai is the son of Albert Magai, former Prime Minister of Sierra Leone, a nephew of Milton Magai, the country's first Prime Minister. In the line of duty, Charles Magai held ministerial positions in different regimes, including as Minister of Home Affairs and Local Government from 1998 to 1999, Minister of Safety and Security of Sierra Leone from 1999 to 2001, and most recently in 2018 as the Attorney General and Minister of Justice of Sierra Leone, an appointment that sparked controversy. While the 2023 elections make about his fourth bout for the number one position, while walking the path of a generation to occupy key government positions of 4 decades. All right, so we cross over now to Makeni, where we have Hassan Fori on standby. Good morning, Hassan.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
Yeah, so what is the situation there where you are?
Well, so far so good. It is quiet here at the Makeni city and even its immediate surroundings. As a matter of fact, I woke up early this morning, as early as 4:30 in the morning, and I visited a lot of centers where already a lot of people were waiting. They were queued, waiting for the electoral start. And of course, hello?
Yes, we can hear you, Hassan.
All right. Of course, I said before I even visited the centers this morning by 5 a.m., there are a lot of people in the centers waiting for the ECS staff and the material so that they can start voting. Officially, voting time should be 7. between 7 to 5. And of course, till this 7:30 to 7:45, some centers have still not started the process yet. And so it's raised a lot of concerns, especially from members of the opposition side who actually came to the ECSL office, where I was also waiting to talk to some of the staff there. And they raised a lot of concerns, And not only the members of the main opposition party, the All People's Congress, but also some other political parties. And I'm here with one of the mayoral candidates, one of the political parties in McKinney. And he has some concerns. Good morning and welcome to the program.
Yes, good morning and good morning to listeners.
So can you tell our viewers and listeners who we are actually talking to?
Of course, my name is Abdul Rahman Kamara, the mayoral candidate for the Alliance Democratic Party.
What have you gathered so far? What have you seen?
Of course, in my sites this morning when I woke up and visit most of the centers, the situation is looking calm. People are going out for their voting. Though some centers are creating some delays. I don't know if whether they are not properly planned to do their pollings or whatsoever. And one of the differences that I saw this morning with some of the polling centers, the polling center will have up to 3, 4 stations or 5 stations. And with this, there are no queue controllers to tell the people where they can go to conduct their voting process. Because in the voting process, some names have been lined up. Some centers are dealing with the cameras, some centers are dealing with the tarawalis, and even not all, but some. But in this, people should be there to at least help these people because most of them are not educated and they doesn't know where to go and where to stand. So some people who queue in one line, they will see the voting process continue. Then instead of the ECSL staff to tell them that, oh, your name is not here, but go to another, they will say your name is not here. And all they will say, I will go home, until I met them and talk with them and decided to do what they're supposed to do and find them in their queues. It's really a little bit disturbing, but we are trying to put things in place now because we too, as political parties, we have our polling agents and we have instructed them to at least help the people to get them where they're supposed to be and where they're supposed to vote.
All right, you have heard from him, and that is what you get here in most of the centers. The confusion, the polling centers actually line or make up their queue.
Well,
matching up to some names, and that's confusion here as it is. But the voting process has actually begun, and so far so good. The few people that I've spoken to that have gone through the process, they said it is easy, and of course it's smooth. Only that this issue of standing according to your surname in queues is the confusion here, and of course the delay in some centers of the process.
Well, so Paul, in other words, you can Hassan, rather, you can confirm to us that voting has commenced where you are at the moment.
Of course, voting has commenced from where I am, and of course, I've visited a number of polling stations where voting is actually going on. Except for a few that are yet to start voting.
Have you been able to find first-time voters in this case?
Yeah, I have spoken to a few first-time voters. Some of them are still in the queue, and a few of them have already voted. They are very much excited to be part of this process. All of them are very much excited to be part of the process, and they are hoping that the voice of the people at the end of the day will speak loud. They are excited.
Well, I had wanted to ask Mr. Kamara a couple of questions. If he's still with you, maybe you can put him through. Is he still there with you?
All right. Yes.
Okay.
He's still here.
Mr. Kamara, thank you so much again for your time. Well, you talked about some of the concerns.
Okay, thank you.
There at the polling station. Has there been any word from the Electoral Commission as to why this is so? And is this supposed to be the normal procedure during elections there?
No. They are not even in some of the polling stations. And in fact, I instructed the polling staffs that if they are finding it difficult in ensuring that some people get their votes in process, let them make sure that they they do all the best they can to make sure that they contacted the head office, because the regional office is very close here, and there are staffs that will be going out to ensure they give the appropriate messages to the staffs, and the polling process will go on too.
But what about security? We also understand that people can still go about their businesses. After voting, you can open your stores, open your business, and do business as normal.
Yes, that's what I'm. Yes, that's what I'm seeing presently. As I was saying, I'm seeing some riders, and although I'm not seeing shops opening, but the riders, because they are helping some other people that are not physically fit to move into their polling stations. That's all I can see for now. That's all I can see for now. And of course, people are coming out, and those that are voted are going to their homes to call on others to come back, because there are some. They are afraid of just leaving the home, just all of them to come to the police stations. So they are coming systematically, one by one.
All right, my final question to you, Mr. Kamara. You are running on the Peace and Liberation Party. What are you expecting?
Alliance Democratic Party.
I beg your pardon.
Alliance Democratic Party.
Yeah, so what are you expecting?
Democratic Party. Well, no man can defeat himself before the battle. That I am sure of. I'm confident and do believe that with all I've done for my people, they are ready to vote for me. That's for sure. And they are still going out chanting mine, but I'm telling them it's not a day for election, for campaigns anymore. This is a time you need to make your choice. That's what I'm telling them right now.
Indeed. Thank you so much for talking to us, and we wish you all the best. All right, Hassan.
All right.
So we'll get back to you. If there are any other development, we'll reach out to you so you can let us know. But just keep on monitoring, and we'll come back to you shortly.
Thank you very much.
All right, that was Hassan Fori there in Makeni reporting the situation on the ground. And of course, we even had to speak with one of the presidential candidates representing the Alliance Democratic Party, ADP there. Well, let's take a few more profiles before we we'll continue in the program. Well, now the next profile is Iye Kake. He is under the party, the Alliance Democratic Party, ADP. That was him speaking there. Now, the Alliance Democratic Party is the only party in the 2023 presidential election to declare a female candidate by the name of Iye Keke, whose running mate is Franklin Kobe. Mrs. Keke is, however, not known to have had any significant influence on Sierra Leone's political landscape until her emergence in this season. ADP was formed in 2015 by a populist politician, Mohamed Kamara Inba Mansare, who is now in prison on charges of sexual penetration. Kamara Inba was previously a prominent member of the APC party, United States branch, before he fell out with the most senior members of the APC in Sierra Leone in 2024. Iyekake's running mate is Franklin Kobe. The certified candidates say they are committed to witnessing and contesting a peaceful presidential election. All right, well, we also have another candidate here in the person of Mohamed Jonjo. He is of the Citizens Democratic Party, CDP. Mohamed Jonjo was a senior advisor, water quality and nature management specialist at the Ministry of Infrastructure and Water Management in the Netherlands. Jonjo, in addition, played a vital role as a member of the board of directors of Holland Seria Trading, a company which promotes trade links between the Netherlands and Sierra Leone. According to sources, a senior advisor specialist for water quality and nature management at the Ministry of Infrastructure and Water Management in the Netherlands. Well, let's switch over now as we hear from other people who have interest in this election. Of course, Sierra Leone's election may be a major player for some 8 million over the next 5 years, at least so it seems. But pretty much the international community from across Africa and the world are watching and praying and hoping for the best for the country. Sierra Leoneans in the diaspora, those with shared trace and rooted history in the white sand beaches country, have been speaking. First, let's bring you the legendary Hollywood actor Idris Elba, who urged peace in his style.
Sierra Leoneans, Unakushe, Idris Elba here, proud son of the soil. I send this message for us, Una, please. This re-election, let we do peacefully, no violence. Young people there, now you get this election. Now you get the power. If we born with country done, now we get for bill and back end. So please, let me not take the country backwards because we did go forward. We get for change the narrative. Yeah, not only is the world watching, but the entire Africa, they watch we Sierra Leoneans. Other Sierra Leoneans, we the watch we serve. I'm a proud Sierra Leonean. I know you're not proud Sierra Leonean. So please do ya send this message. Tell and say, listen, this re-election, no violence. Please keep on fair, keep on peaceful. Let me maintain with credibility. Yeah? Much love.
I think no one speaks a better Creole than Elba himself. Amazing to hear him speak that. Well, it's getting exciting here in the studios as well as election and things are ongoing there in Sierra Leone. We'll bring you more profiling this time around. Let's switch over now to our next is Jonathan P.J. Sandy. Now, Jonathan P.J. Sandy is of the National Unity and Reconciliation Party, UNRP. Now, Jonathan P.J. Sandy, popularly known as JPJ, is the presidential candidate of the National Unity and Reconciliation Party. Now a politician, Sandy has a long career spanning over 25 years in promoting democratic and economic governance, justice, human rights, and the rule of law. JPJ has held various positions in the government of Sierra Leone, the Economic Community of West African States, ECOWAS, the African Union, and the World Bank. His expertise has focused on crisis and stabilization intervention in fragile and conflict-affected states across Africa, with recent involvement in the Southern African Development Community, SADC. Jonathan P.J. Sandy says he represents a new generation of politicians that has the experience and ability to reduce threats and risk of economic instability, corruption, unemployment, injustice, and global health crises such as Ebola, international terrorism, and transnational organized crime. While campaigning, the presidential hopeful promised to work to unite the country by improving the economy for all Sierra Leoneans, not just for a few, as well as to rebuild public trust in national security, justice, rule of law, public sector institutions, education, and health systems, and ensure job security once again. All right, that was the profile of Jonathan P.J. Sandy. All right, just before we switch over to the diaspora to hear their thoughts as to this election, let's bring you the profile of Sir Henry Kabuta. Sir Henry Kabuta. He is the presidential candidate of the United National People's Party, UNPP. Now, after completing a degree in marine biology at the University of Sierra Leone, Kabuta obtained a master's degree in medical microbiology at the University of Amsterdam in the Netherlands. Subsequently, the latter completed a doctorate in organizational management at the University of Phoenix in the United States. Senior advisor specialist for water quality and nature management at the Ministry of Infrastructure and Water Management in the Netherlands. Kabuta was also a board member of Holland Sierra Trading, which promotes trade relations between the Netherlands and Sierra Leone. Okay, all right, let's switch over now to the diaspora and hear their concerns. Of course, we know that wherever you are and when your country is holding elections, it is always of a concern and you feel, you wish you were there to be part of that election. So let's take our Sierra Leoneans in the diaspora and hear what they have to say about this election.
Well, I'm at the main ball, the section of Serekunda where you have, Sierra Leone communities doing their business, some into second-hand clothing, and others, a whole lot of other businesses. And I'm here with a gentleman. First of all, let me ask him his name. What's your name, sir?
Ajibu Masari.
Ajib Mansari, and you are a businessman, you are into second-hand clothing?
Yes. I'm doing clothes. I'm selling clothes.
Okay. First of all, what do you make of the upcoming elections in your country?
When I SLPP man, wale madabi win. That's the only thing that we may get for talk. I want madabi win because I'm a party where I do it.
So you want incumbent President Madabio to win?
Yes.
Why? Why do you want him to be re-elected?
It's my party. I like SLPP party. That's why.
What about President Madabio as he is himself? How much are you impressed with the work he has done?
Very good. Very good job for Sierra Leone people because our taxes, the last is 3,000. When Madabio come, it's 850 now. So thank God now.
So you mean Sierra Leoneans in the Gambia used to pay 3,000?
Yes. 3,
and now since Madabio came to power, he talked with the Gambian government, and now you're paying less tax, $800.
Yes.
So you're impressed with that?
Yes.
Okay.
All of that thing Madabio do for we're very glad of that.
Right. You're very happy about that. I mean, how important is this election in your opinion?
The election, I'm a party I will win. Madabio, SLPP. Mina SLPP man, Ajibu Masari.
So I wanted to ask, who is your choice of candidate? But you've already said you are SLPP. Of course, obviously, it's President Madabio.
Yes.
What sort of changes do you wish to see in Sierra Leone? What sort of changes do you want to see?
Plenty changes now. Madabio do plenty things for we in Sierra Leone. That's why I like Madabio, SLPP.
What are your wishes and prayers? Because we have millions of people going to the election.
Peace. We like peace. We don't want anything. We don't want all the country. We don't want them. Everything goes simple. That would pray for no more.
Well, I am still at the main ball area in Serekunda, and I'm still talking to Sierra Leoneans about the election that's closed on the 24th of this month. And I'm here with a gentleman, sir. Thank you for talking to us. What is your name, sir?
I'm Dominic Bimba Kaba, a Sierra Leonean.
Right. I mean, what do you do?
I'm a contractor.
Fantastic. I mean, we have elections in your home country on the 24th of this month. First of all, I mean, what do you make of these elections on the 24th?
I make up for the elections is that the Sierra Leoneans should have that mindset that we are all the same people. Despite tribe, party, color, we are all the same people, from the same Mama Sierra Leone. So we should embrace ourselves and then forget about violence. That is my thinking about this election, that we should embrace ourselves as Sierra Leoneans. Who took the mantle, let him take the mantle. No fighting, because we've been through the 11 years war. Some of us know the bitterness of war. So that is why we don't want war anymore. We don't want fighting in our country, please. Let people realize that Sierra Leone is for us. When Sierra Leone is good, we'll be proud. When Sierra Leone spoil,
That's right.
So that is it.
That's right.
That is my take on this election.
And it is a very important take, I must say. I mean, but how important do you think this election really is?
Well, the importance is that, we will have our new leader, and then we step forward. That is the importance. Then having a new leader, let him consider the people. That is the importance of election. That my people are going through tough time. These are their needs. This is what they need. Yeah, don't sit there and embezzle the money. That is it. That is it.
Indeed. I mean, in that case, I'm tempted to ask your choice of candidate. Is it the incumbent Madabio or Kamara?
That's what is hard to say. It's a secret. I don't want to reveal it.
Oh, it's a secret you don't want to reveal?
Yeah.
You want to keep your choice of candidate to yourself?
That's it.
Fair enough. What would be your final wish and prayers for millions of Sierra Leoneans who will be taken to the polls on 24th?
My final wish for the 24th, for the millions of Sierra Leoneans going to the poll, is that I pray to God that the elections end up very nice, no problem. Just as I started talking, that we are all the same people. Let them take it like that we are all the same people, same brother, same sister. That is my thinking, and that is my prayer, that the election will be peaceful, very nice, no problem.
Amen to that. Thank you so much. I have another gentleman here. Hello, sir. Thank you for talking to us. What's your name, sir?
First of all, biologically, I'm David Kamara.
David Kamara.
Oh.
I mean, we have elections to hold in Sierra Leone, of course, back home in Freetown. So you are monitoring. I mean, what do you make of the elections, first of all?
First of all, before I'm saying anything, I just want to give thanks to God, for everything that's happening in my country, you know what I'm saying? But matter of fact, as you're saying, the coming election, I wish my country to have a peaceful election, and all citizens of Sierra Leone, they have the conscious mind that we need a better leader, a true leader that can make it good for a better country. As a leader, I thought that you must have all what it takes to be a leader for the people. No matter whatever the tribe or whatever the color is or the party, you just gonna get on as a Sierra Leone, you put Sierra Leone before. Yeah, as our local tribe, we say Salon first. That's how it is. Yeah, but I wish my country to have a peaceful election.
Indeed, we all wish Sierra Leone to have a peaceful election. How important would you attach to this election?
Independency. Yeah, for me it depends on this election. Like, for my people in the country, I believe that they have all what it needs. They are the people who have the country, not the leader. They are the people. They are the governments. We the citizens of the country. We are the government. We tell the government what to do and what not to do. But if this happens, 2023 election on the 24th of June, I hope all citizens, may have the conscious mind. There will be a peaceful election, no fighting, no disorder. Let's try to get it straight to the point and give the true leader the true pen.
All right, those were Sierra Leoneans in the Gambia, speaking to our correspondent, Sankle Janko there. Well, excitement everywhere because of this election. Well, we cross over now to Kenema, where Philip Kamara is on standby. Hello, Philip, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah,
Thank you very much.
yes, report us, Philip. What are you seeing right now? What's the situation?
Well, the situation here in Kenema seems to be relatively calm. Voters have actually gone through the various polling centers. I could actually see long queues occupied by the voters. I am here with one of the voters who has been here since 6 a.m. Sir, can you please tell me your name, sir? My name is...
Okay, I think we lost Philip. Well, we'll try and re-establish that contact. You know how this network thing works. Okay, so let's come here to Dakar as we hear Sierra Leoneans in Dakar, Senegal, talk about the elections and what they feel about elections and how it is going. If we're able to re-establish a contact with Philip, we can take that. Otherwise, we may just look at another profile here and just bring you our next profile. All right, so is Philip online now? Philip? Okay, so let's bring you Prince Coker, the next presidential candidate, and he is the presidential candidate of People's Democratic Party, PDP. Now, the People's Democratic Party, established in the 1990s, is making a comeback in this electoral season. Prince Coker, a veteran politician and influential figure, is PDP's face on the ballot paper for this year's 2023 election. Coker intends to build on the party's legacy for progress and unity. The People's Democratic Party, in existence, has established itself as an important political force with notable achievements to its name. Prince Coker, a successful entrepreneur, has played a vital role in the rise of the party and continues to uphold its core values of democracy, inclusion, and social justice. With his experience not only limited to the PDP, a party currently leads, Coker was also president of the All Political Parties Association, APPA, during which he demonstrated his ability to bridge the gaps between different political factions and promote collaboration for the greater good of all. This influential figure is also seeking vote in today's election and hopes to occupy the nation's #1 political office. All right, we do have Philip back. Sorry, we lost you there. Thank you for being on standby. Please go ahead with your speech.
Yes, Thank you very much. I am at one of the polling stations situated at Chez Secondary School, which is one of the senior secondary schools in Kenema, and it's situated along Kombema Road. Well, at the polling center, everything seems to be calm. Of course, voters are in their queue, both men and women, wanting to cast their vote. But I'm here with somebody who will introduce himself. Your name, sir?
My name is Salia Johnny, one of the voters at this police station.
So, Salia, at what time did you arrive at the polling center?
I was here since 6 o'clock this morning.
So why come to the polling center as early as 6 a.m.?
To come and cast my vote as early at that time so that I will go home safely.
So what were the procedures? Do you think the voting exercise was that tedious, or it was very simple to you?
Not at all. I vote very peacefully. I'm at my way now to my home.
So how would you want to describe the entire electioneering process?
Very peaceful, calm, free and clear.
Okay, yes, I'm still here with many other voters who have been able to cast their vote, and I'm here with this other young man. Your name, please?
My name is Joseph Gulia.
Okay.
And I also reside at Chez Secondary School.
Okay.
One of the centers.
So, Joe, we are here at the Chez Secondary School. Have you been able to cast your vote?
Oh, exactly. This morning I came at around 6 o'clock in order for me to cast my votes.
So why so early?
Simply because I want to cast it and quietly go to my house.
Did you experience any challenge while trying to cast your vote?
Not actually. The process is very simple and peaceful.
And do you think the process is that faster or slow?
It is very fast.
Okay.
Very fast.
Yes, still I'm continuing to talk to another person, and this individual seems to be working for the Electoral Commission of Sierra Leone, that is the ECSL, but he can better introduce himself. Your name, please?
My name is Abdullah Ba, a PCM for this polling station at College Secondary School along Kombema Road.
So how did you go about deployment? Because I understand you came here as early as 5 a.m.
Yeah, I came here as early as 5 a.m. My staff, which are the party agents. I deploy them and I make sure they have their materials for the elections which is going on, and we done that early as possible today.
So do you have all the electioneering materials available here?
I have all the electoral material available here with me and with my party agents.
Okay. Have you been able to experience any challenge while conducting this election?
No, I have not experienced any challenge while they are conducting this election since this morning. Are going on peaceful.
So how will you rate the output? How are people actually turning up to the polls to actually cast their votes?
Yes, of course. People are actually turning up to cast their votes peaceful. We are seeing a lot of people coming, casting their votes. Those who have cast their vote, they are going home peaceful.
Yes, of course, those were the voices of voters at the College Secondary School explaining that they came here as early as 6 a.m. Here, you come to the electioneering at the polling center very early, you definitely cast your vote very early and leave. So most of the voters I have spoken to are those who have been able to cast their votes, and some are still maintaining the queue. Of course, I've spoken to several others who describe the exercise as one that is very, very fast, very, very peaceful, and they are very, very open as far as the voting exercise is concerned.
Well, Philip, shouldn't we be concerned that people are just voting and then going to their houses to rest or sleep? I mean, there are also concerns that when elections of this nature is being conducted in West Africa particularly, people wait to ensure that these votes are counted. Why is that not the situation there?
Yeah, well, prior to the commencement of the electioneering exercise, the security apparatus, the Office of the National Security, put out a press release instructing every other voter that they should retire to their homes. In fact, there is a slang they call vote saful, go na o saful, listen to your saful. That's just the local the word used here back home. So at the moment, everybody is retiring home. Don't forget, today is a very busy day also right across the country. And once people are done casting their vote, even the security apparatus will not allow them to cluster around. Don't forget, once they gather, there is every tendency that they may tend to disrupt. So what is happening now, they have been advised to retire back home upon completion of their voting exercise. So that's the message, but it's not different that at the close of polling, say 5 p.m. today, you will see voters coming to the various centers, because the voting ends at 5, and when voting ends at 5, counting starts immediately after 5 p.m. So most of the voters I've spoken to are interested in the counting exercise. So now that they are done casting their votes, they will go back to their home, they will glue to their various radio stations, wherein they will be listening. But at the center here, most of them have retired home.
Well, will the counting of vote be broadcast live on the state television as it is? All right. Philip, are you there?
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah, I was asking if the counting of votes will be broadcast live on the state television.
Well, prior to this time, the Electoral Commission of Sierra Leone, ECSL, had warned all radio stations not to announce results. Because before now, there were provisional results announced by an entity called the Independent Radio Network, IRN, which comprises of community radio stations across Sierra Leone. They have a membership of over 80 community radio stations that come together to broadcast electioneering exercises across the country. But because of violent incidences and difficulties in the conduct of this year's election, so radio stations were warned or were cautioned not to actually put out election results. So what will happen at the end of the day is that the various results will be posted on the walls of the various polling centers, and those monitoring the election or even party agents will now have a copy or will have snapshots of those results pasted on the various walls at the various polling centers. So at the moment, radio stations are not encouraged to actually broadcast counting. But at national level, we are the state broadcaster headquarters is in Freetown, and we are in also the hub of the Independent Radio Network is situated. We are sure that they will actually do the broadcast during counting exercise. But at the moment, reporters and even radio stations are warned to refrain from hearing the counting exercise.
All right, Philip Koroma, thank you so much for your report there from Kenema, Eastern Province in Sierra Leone. We'll be coming to you shortly in our next broadcast. Thank you for your time.
Thank you very much.
All right, it's 27 minutes past the top of the hour, 8:27 if you want to put it that way, and it's the live coverage of the 2023 general elections in Sierra Leone. It's time to go on this first half. Many thanks to the production team of Abdullah Hassan, James Japon, Mao Ju, Francis Boniface, and Inyas Bilimu. I am Imo Adet. Do join us at midday the English service for our next live broadcast. But at the top of the hour, the French version led by Sani Mumunu Sebu and Patrick Debevi will come your way. Thank you so much for your time. Please stay here on West Africa Democracy Radio 94.9 FM.
This is the live coverage of the 2023 general elections in Sierra Leone. You have just listened to the live coverage of the 2023